What's up, what's up, what's up? We're the Freestyle Freaks on HamiltonRadio.net. I'm Ralphie Rotten. This is Billy Kidd. What's up, what's up? How was your weekend?
It's awesome. It's awesome. I had a lot of fun at bars all night. Went to bars all night, bro. Spit a quick 16.
Nice, man. How was,
I ain't rap.
You never know. Listen, you know.
Oh, that's right. Nah, that's right. That's right. I do be rapping on here.
Rap every so often, you know. So
I ain't rap though, man. I was an invited guest. From like came out of left field because like I've been turning down so many shows. Like, I turned down. If I'm lying, I'm flying. I turned down about five shows in like a month. Just trying to bounce back. Just trying to take it easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when I got out the hospital, I ain't really do a lot of shows. Like the main show I went to, I was booking the headliners, and I only went out just to make sure that everything went smooth. You know, even he told me to go to hell. Shout out to Smokey Suarez. But even he told me, but he understood where I was coming from because he had the same surgery. His appendix got removed. He had a surgery with his lungs too, so all of his stuff was way worse than mine. But he was like, yo, it was like, you know, you already paid me. He was like, you know, everything is good. You know, just go home and rest. So like, it's more mentally now. Like my body is bouncing back. Today was my second day back to work. It's all pretty much just mental, and I could use a little hiatus, man. You know, to just kick back, you know, with the family.
Listen, sometimes, could you put the mics up a little?
Need a break, right?
Sometimes, you know, perfect.
Just need a break.
Sometimes, you know, in everything we do, you know, like it doesn't matter if it's work. You know, like that's why they got vacations.
Word.
You know,
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, everybody needs a break.
Yeah, you can't run yourself
from
down.
everything, you know. And it's crazy you said, you know, because my last 2 days off, you would think, you know, I've been sitting there watching the football games. Yeah, of course I've been watching football games, but I've been cleaning. Yeah. You know, at the same time, you know, I've been washing.
Yeah,
it's
like you working
laundry.
even when you're not working. Like before you realize.
It seems that I you know, my weekends, or I don't have weekends. You know, I have a day here, a day off here and there. But the last 2 days I was off. You know, it was Sunday and Monday, and that's like a weekend for me.
Word.
But I find I work more on my day off than I would on, you know.
That's how it be.
So it's like, it pisses me off because, you know,
like by the end of that day off, you were exhausted.
I got paint on my, you see that I got paint on my hands.
Hell yeah.
Look, paint. I'm painting my bathroom just now, so.
Working even when you ain't working.
I mean, Joe, don't get me wrong, I switched to
But real quick though, shout out to Bars All Night, man, because as many shows as I turned down, I accepted this one because it was something special. You know, there was a 3-year anniversary.
Did you tag Billy on this?
I can't even get into it because my phone acting stupid. But the kid that invited me, Icon Ty, he had a huge rap battle that was coming up, and he was battling the mainstream. And I don't take nothing from him. I mean, this was supposed to be like a huge event, and it got a little ugly on Facebook between like payment and legalities of the flyer and everything. So it's not really going to fall through. But he reached out to me, and this ain't a person I talk to every day. Like, we don't call, like, we don't really, you know, but like, we see each other around at events. And he called me, and he was like, yo, Billy. I was like, did you mean to call my phone? He did a Facebook inbox call. I thought it was an accident. So I'm like, did you mean to call me? He's like, yeah. He was like, I want you to come out to Bars All Night tonight. And as many shows as I turned down, and the movement that he was trying to do, not to mention it's a 3-year anniversary, I was like, how could I turn that down? How could I? It was like a quick little 5-10 minutes. I always joke about having to hurry up because I got my kids in the car, and a lot of times it's a joke. I really had my kids in the car that night. I mean, they were being supervised. But I had my kids in the car. I pulled up. I was like, yo, I said, I'm not going to stay long. I'm just going to be in and out. I left straight from Burger King Playhouse with the kids. Straight to Bars All Night, jumped on stage for like a good 5 minutes and left. And the message that I got after that, he was like, yo, like, I really appreciate you, man. He was like, I don't know a harder worker comedian than you. He was like, that's why you king of comedy for Trent. And that meant a lot, man. And just the overall energy and atmosphere, man. You know, it's a packed house. A lot of people were still coming in. And all of that is put together by a lady. By a female, man. She is responsible for Bars All Night, man. And I gotta, when I get a chance, I'm gonna pull up her name. But you could go into your weekend.
Well, my weekend, back to, of course, the weekend I work, blase, blah, blah, blah. But Sunday I got to watch the game while I was working, doing work at the house. And of course, my team loses. So of course,
Wasn't a bad year though. It wasn't.
I can't listen. I can't take anything away
It was
from
just
my
a rough
Eagles.
start. It was a rough start, bro.
My Eagles were not even supposed to be in it.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? They fought to get back into it. It's hard for teams to get into the playoffs to begin with.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, y'all. But Leanne Ramos is responsible for bars all night. Shout out to her.
But it's
Good year.
I can't take anything away from the team.
You think Foles gonna stay?
Listen, if I were the Eagles, I would seriously try to consider keeping both. That's just me. That's just me because
He gonna be here free.
plan A and plan B keep working. One of them goes half the season. Whoever works, take it. Keep him in there. If he doesn't work, switch him up. You know what I'm saying? It just makes sense to have two good quarterbacks. Of course, it's not about what the Eagles want. It's probably what Nick Foles wants.
Or
Judging by one of his,
he could use this free agent stature, man.
he
like really make money, bro.
Well, he mentioned that he wants to be leader of a team and he wants to lead that charge. So back when the Eagles first signed him as a backup, and that's what he has been, a very well serviceable backup. Listen, he's got a. I don't need to explain how important Nick Foles was.
Does that make sense to you? Just make that make sense to me, because it doesn't make sense how everybody's jersey and stuff is dirty from playing quarter after quarter after quarter, and he's sitting there with a clean uniform on, and he's like on his phone, and he's like not even expecting to play. I mean, I'm just bringing a sarcastic spin to it.
He's actually watching the film,
but I mean, for the most part, it's like he has to wait. Like for Wentz to get hurt, they're like, "All right, you're in." He's like, "Oh, me? Like I'm in?" Like he don't even know he's getting called in, and then take the team right to the playoffs, right to the playoffs every single time he came off that bench, and it doesn't seem fair.
2 years
doesn't seem fair.
2 years in a row to come off the bench.
More than that,
2 years in a row. Since the Eagles signed him.
Yeah.
It was originally I think a 2-year contract, or maybe a 3-year. I don't know.
It don't make no sense.
The bottom line is
it fair to you? Do you like?
Oh, listen, it's not what is fair to me. It's what Nick Foles does, what the Eagles want.
Your opinion.
I think they both should start.
About Foles being on his bench and having to wait for Wentz to get hurt, like what is going to happen. Like, do you really have much faith? Who you got the stronger faith in, Wentz or Foles?
I cannot pinpoint on who I have the more faith in, because they're both very, very talented in their both respectful ways.
I disagree. I think Wentz is overrated, man. Well, I mean, personally.
Well, to me, Wentz could be overrated in other people's eyes. Of course he could be overrated.
Foles is underrated.
Well, I mean, Foles is not going to be underrated now. Everybody sees what Foles has done. He helped lead the Eagles to their first Super Bowl. Without the play of Nick Foles, I don't think they would have. I mean, the guy has a statue out front of the link.
Facts.
He is part of. He's set and broken record after record. I mean, he may go down as one of the most influential quarterbacks in franchise history. That's no fluke. That's no bullshit. That's real talk. The first he's the only one to take him to the show and dance and win it. So he has the highest QB rating, playoff QB passer rating in playoff history. So yeah, Tom Brady might be the GOAT. He might be one of the best to ever live. But in the last couple of years that Nick Foles have taken the helm, Nick Foles has cemented his feet in history. I mean, he has.
New England made it to the playoffs 8 years in a row straight. 8 straight years.
And that's what if you've seen what Doug Peterson was saying, they're humbled to get where they're at. This is before yesterday's game. He said, listen, we're humbled. We're happy to have an opportunity to play into January. Win or lose, they're gonna give everything they got, and this is what we said. I said this before. He said, I said this before. This is the norm. We'll expect us to be at the playoffs every year, and so far he's stayed true to his word. This is the norm. Playoff. So the Eagles couldn't advance. They were tired out. Remember, they had backups on that squad right now. So the team had been at 100%. I think they would have probably done better.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a hurt Ajayi. Okay, you had no LeGarrette Blount this year. So yeah, they had a running back, squad, but when it came down to it, Clement got hurt. Smallwood couldn't do much. Right. And Sproles, listen, Sproles is amazing. But Sproles couldn't put the team on his back. They didn't run the ball. And that's where the Saints took advantage. They ran the ball with Kamara, and
we came in cocky that 14-0.
Listen, they
came in super cocky.
But the Saints kept the defense on the field.
They played vintage. They played vintage.
The Saints went three when they went 3 and out. It was when you thinking, I got one more series before I can sit my ass down. No, they were getting first down after first down after first down after. They were moving the ball. They weren't necessarily scoring, but they were tiring out the defense. Yeah. And
they definitely did a good job because by
going back and forth. Remember, the Eagles are used to playing up here where it's nice and cool. You know what I'm saying? You take them down there to the Big Easy, and guess what? You're playing under that heat.
And that's why, and that's why Kansas is going to mess around and beat. They play in New England, right?
I think Kansas City's got a chance.
Yeah, especially being that they playing.
Remember,
in
I think
Kansas.
it could be Andy Reid's year. It could finally be Andy Reid's year. Remember, Andy Reid under the head coach of the Eagles took the Eagles to the playoffs year after year, and never was able to quite get over that hump. But this year, he's what, 2 games away?
That's going to be a good game.
1 game, 2 games.
Rams and Saints going to be awesome.
The Chiefs are 1 game away from getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, that's going to be spectacular. Basically, yeah. Because,
if they beat the Patriots, right? If they beat the Patriots,
yeah, you got Kansas. You got Kansas, New England, and you got Rams and New England. Now,
you got the Saints. I think the Rams are gonna win this one.
Look, are you dealing with?
I don't think Lightning strikes twice with the Saints. I think they get beat.
2 teams that had like 2 of the best records this season.
Well, all the top 4 teams, the first and second of the AFC, are in it, and the top 2 teams, the first and second teams of the NFC, are in it. So that's
and that's the reason. So we're gonna see some clash of the Titans with these 2, man. And I feel like when it came down to,
I think it's gonna be a Chiefs Rams game. I think it's gonna be a Chiefs Rams Super Bowl.
But I don't know, man, because you're dealing with New England, who have went 8 straight years straight.
Yeah, they're not. Listen, they're not immortal. Nick Foles beat them last year.
But they made it.
Facts.
They made
They're
it.
still in it.
They somehow make
They're
it.
still
man.
in it. They're not there yet. Truthfully, honest to God, I picked the Rams as a dark horse. The Chiefs as a dark horse. Another team I predicted to be there was the Patriots. I actually predicted another Eagle-Patriot Super Bowl. Unfortunately, that one half I wasn't able to get that in there. But you know, I didn't see the Saints. I didn't see the Saints get that at all. The fact that Mike Thomas is playing on a different level, that's the reason why the Saints are there. The Saints don't have too many other weapons. All they have.
I don't know, man. Don't sleep on Breeze, man.
Listen, all they have.
You was really playing a battle with a quarterback.
Did you see how many throws how many passes they hit Mike Thomas over with the Eagles? The dude had over 150 yards in the air. Okay, I think maybe 15 passes, 15 catches, something like that, give or take. I mean, the guy was on fire. They couldn't contain him. But the only thing is, that's one of Drew Brees' main targets.
Yeah, weapons.
You take him out of the equation, and you're depending on Kamara becoming a running back and a wide receiver.
Word.
Take him out of the equation, guess what? They're not a team.
Yeah, but you gotta take a lot out of the equation. Hey, look, as of right now,
you just got a team with a subpar.
I don't think it's gonna stand up to the Rams. So.
I think the Rams get them. I think the Rams beat them.
I'm gonna agree with you on that.
I think the Rams outrun them this game. They have too many weapons. They're a little bit more complete team.
Man, as much as I would hate to admit it, I'm gonna go Rams on this one because a lot of my timeline is Rams. Like
I think the Chiefs finally. I think that Andy Reid finally beats Bill Belichick because this is what it is. It's just another rematch of a Belichick Andy Reid matchup.
Yeah, it's gonna be like chess. It's gonna be like playing chess, man. And just Andy just one of them dudes, man, that you really can't sleep on. Like he really knows how to move the players on the board.
Well, here's also the Chiefs. You know, they have a rookie quarterback versus a legendary quarterback. So, like you said, it's a clash of a Titan versus one Titan.
Both
versus
games, bro. It's gonna be like the fight of the Giants, bro.
Like I said, I think it's gonna be. I said it here. My Eagles are out. I think it's going to be the Rams and Chiefs.
And I think
that
if an underdog actually take this, it's going to be it's going to be the franchise team. It's going to be the franchise team who I feel would be the underdogs to take it if they actually take the Super Bowl. Like I had to pick underdog, I would say New England.
I think
that creep up.
I think that Andy Reid finally gets his ring this year. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
No, I can hear you, but not in the speakers.
Testing. Okay.
A little bit. All
right. Jay Blissell says, as much as everybody is sick of the Patriots, keep winning. So I think it's going to be the Patriots.
And that's the crazy thing, man. Because like
it could be,
you would sleep on them. It's like you would sleep on them, and they would actually. Like by the time you wake up, confetti would be dropping all over these dudes again, yet again.
Listen, with the Rams, everybody's not looking at what the Rams did. They just came off a bye when they played the Cowboys. They got two, running backs back to 100. The last couple games, Todd Gurley was hurt. Okay, listen, it's not going to be easy for the Saints to win 2 in a row after getting physically beat by the Eagles. Yeah. Listen, the Eagles could have lost this game, but if you watch that game, the Saints didn't play an easy game. It wasn't an easy win.
I'm pulling Rams on that one, man.
I'm telling you, listen.
I'm gonna tell you like this, man.
The reason the Saints won is because they exploited. When Fletcher Cox was hurt, they said, "All right, Fletcher Cox is hurt. Let's attack up this middle." Okay, run him up the gut with this ball. Okay, they exploited every mistake that the Eagles made.
And their running game, it was
that's
ferocious.
That's the reason why the Saints won. But now listen, they're not playing a tired, gassed out Eagle team. They're playing a refreshed Rams team.
Exactly. And that's why I see a clear win. I actually see a clear win Rams. But I'm actually hoping that Kansas actually take it from. I'm hoping that Kansas take it, and just like you said, to have Andy Reid, finally get his ring, because I know he looked at the Eagles like, what, the entire.
What the last week's game with the Bears and the Eagles, these two guys, Peterson and Nagy, were actually coaches under Andy Reid.
Word.
So the the lifeline, the roots of Andy Reid are out there. To have two guys that coached under him in the playoffs, and one winning a Super Bowl already, and Andy Reid not winning one, okay, it makes Andy Reid hungrier. So he's got.
Plus, man, he had all of that controversy, all that legal controversy going on, man, and I felt real bad for him at a point in time because like one of his sons tried to did something with drugs.
One of his sons died.
Did
it was you know,
he had a lot. One
of his sons was in and out of jail. Another one of his sons passed away.
And then you talking about the Mike Vick era too, you know. So
then the Mike Vick era. Then he had to deal with the suicide at the Chiefs Chiefs facility. So it hasn't been an easy ride for Andy Reid. But if one of these guys are going to win a Super Bowl, it's Andy Reid's time.
He deserved it. Yeah.
Okay, it's Andy Reid's time.
That's why I'm actually
the Rams won a couple Super Bowls back in the early 2000s. The Saints won a Super Bowl after Katrina. And we already know Tom Brady has won how many? So of the four teams, the Chiefs haven't won one in the last 20 years. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think Steve Young was the last one to take him to the Super Bowl. So Andy Reid is the more deserving coach this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, so Jay commented again. He said, if the Chiefs and Rams are in the Super Bowl, he said it's not going to be a very good game because nobody really cares about those two teams. And that was funny because that made me laugh out loud. He said, at least if it's the Patriots and the Saints, those two legendary quarterbacks going at it, and that should make a very good, interesting game. I'm going to agree.
Well, two legendary. I mean, listen, Mahomes. You're talking. Listen, we're going to argue right now. Mahomes right now is probably the Rookie of the Year and the MVP of the league. So you can't really say he's not a legend yet. If he wins the Super Bowl, he'd probably get the MVP as well. So two back-to-back MVPs might make him a legend in 1 year. So I wouldn't talk about the Chiefs quarterback Mahomes out just yet. And Jared Goff is on his way, to be a legend. So two young quarterbacks taking very, very good, talented teams into the playoffs. I mean, two explosive offenses. I'm telling you,
I don't know, Jay.
It's gonna be a high scoring game.
I don't know, Jay, man. That Chiefs Rams, bro.
Listen,
that'd be fire. That'd be.
Listen, I do fantasy football every year. Some years I do great, some years I do bad. But last year I called the Eagles. Do you remember I called the Eagles?
Yeah.
I called the Eagles. I actually called the Eagles and the Patriots. I said it was going to be the Eagles and Patriots, and sure enough, it was the Eagles and Patriots.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I called the Rams this year as being a monster, and guess what? I knew that the Chiefs would be up here. They're a monster. Listen, whenever you get rid of your starting quarterback and you trade up or whatever to get a rookie quarterback, and you've played this well, you can't ignore that. You know what I'm saying? So
all I know is it's definitely 2 games to watch.
Well, I like I said, I think it's gonna be.
Bruh.
Mark my words. I'll say it here. I say it here now. It's gonna be Chiefs and Rams Super Bowl. That's me.
I feel like both of these games leading up to it, man. It's gonna be fire, bro.
Last time, I'm
not calling anything.
One of the last times the Chiefs played the Patriots, this was maybe last year. This was the first game, I think, of the year, if I'm not mistaken. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that the Chiefs destroyed the Patriots last year. And you can check those. You can check that last year. I think the Patriots and the Chiefs' first game together. I think it was maybe an opening the season opener. I think the Patriots got their asses beat. And that's how I knew that the Eagles had a chance, because how they got beat by the Chiefs. So yeah, they got it together afterwards, and they took it to to the Super Bowl, and they lost. We know what that's the past, that's the history, but this Chiefs team is a different team.
I got the final
100% different team.
40-43, Patriots.
This was this year probably. But you see how it was a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
They probably mentally, physically beat the crap out of each other. So both games the last couple of years that they both played each other, they've scored high-scoring points. One was a blowout, and this one, was very close. So it's not going to be easy for a Patriot team to come in.
Was 42-27.
See. So this is facts. I'm not making this shit up.
Which made the Chiefs 1-0 and made the Patriots. Yeah.
See, I watch football. Listen, I might be an Eagle fan, but I remember these things. So this is the reason why I make my judgment is I called this weekend. My picks were Eagles, Rams, Chiefs, and Patriots. Unfortunately, my main pick didn't get there, but those are my picks. I picked them. I'm thinking that definitely Rams and Chiefs. I'm saying it here. In other news, did you hear about the news today that UPS, there was a hostage situation standoff at UPS today? Was that today? Yeah, it was today, yeah.
Yep.
This was South Jersey. The standoff ended with the suspect in question being shot and being rushed to the hospital. The two hostages were released.
What happened with that?
I don't know. I don't know much of the information. I just know that's what I know. That's what I heard. Earlier in the day, I guess.
It was around I saw it
2:00 today, around 2:00. It's something. It was around morning, late morning, early lunch, in or around that time. But it happened. Police handled it. They had local. It was a lot of police out there. It was pretty crazy. In other news, the standoff is still. The shutdown. The standoff. The government shutdown is still in effect, I guess, right?
Yeah, it was like 20-something days now.
I haven't listened. Honest to God, I have not.
This is actually the longest one, and
I have not. I have not paid attention to how many days the government shutdown is being in effect. But
it's the longest one we ever had.
But eventually, he's gotta. You're not gonna get anything by shutting down the government, forcing people to shut. You're not gonna strong arm. Listen.
Anything.
Here's the bottom line is, I don't care who the hell you are in the United States, you're not going to strong arm the system. You can't say, hey, do this or I'm going to shut the government down. Yes, we understand there could be a national crisis. But there's other ways to do that. Write up a bill, create a funding, something. Don't take it from the people. Don't say that you signed a different deal and we don't even know what the hell the deal's about.
Do you know? Do you know?
He said that Mexico would pay for the wall, and now he's saying that Mexico isn't going to pay for the wall.
It gets even deeper than that, though. It gets even deeper than that because the steel slats that he want to use for his wall, right, is manufactured in the U.S. by a steel mill co-owned by Russian/Israeli billionaire named Roman Abramovich. No surprise, Abramovich is close friends with Trump and Putin. So he wants to do an undercover deal with the dude that he wants to manufacture these. Come to find out that the dude has ties to Trump and Putin.
Well, it's about making...
Just to pocket money, bro. It was never really about that wall. That's why he's so stern about getting his wall.
What it is that he knows that if he gets his wall... he'll get a massive kickback. When he leaves office, he knows damn well he's not going to win a second election. And he wants to make as much money as he can in the back door. It's probably true that, the guy who makes the wall, he's good friends with, and he stands to get kickback. If the wall costs $20 billion, you think Donald Trump is not going to get 10, 20, 30% of it? If the wall costs $30 billion, Trump may stand to get $5 billion.
I mean,
of that money.
Like what I don't get though is that at these rallies,
so it's basically laundering. He's basically laundering money.
Yeah, but
he's taking money from the people.
All of the people who voted for him are like the people that was in the crowd. He would yell out, "Who's going to pay for the wall?" Mexico. Who's going to pay for the wall? Mexico.
What he's doing
what you
is
campaign and rallied around.
He's trying to take it from the taxpayer, pay it to the guy that he's probably friends with.
Yeah.
And a friend that's going to build the wall is going to eventually say, here's your envelope, and that money that he took from the taxpayer to pay for the wall, it's going right back to Donald Trump. That's probably what's going to happen. Yeah, unfortunately,
his name is Roman Abramovich, and I don't know if I'm saying that last name right, but he's close friends with Trump and Putin, and he happens to be a billionaire. So
yeah, there's other manufacturers going to earn from this too. Also, you got the steel companies, and also other road contractors.
But I feel like that's just pretty much exploiting them. Like you're working them, like for an overall bigger agenda. So it's like their labor is nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a much bigger agenda to it, man. Plus, everything is also to distract your mind on what's actually still being investigated too.
Well, of course, there's a lot of things being investigated. You notice how we kind of veered off of what's happening in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. You don't hear nothing more about ISIS.
No, well, look, as he said it, they're completely demolished. That's what he said. They're completely.
Listen, I'm sure there's still cells out there. I'm sure that there's
like, when one go down, like something else comes up. You know, because just before ISIS, what was
and don't forget about
Al Qaeda. Yeah, Al Qaeda, and then like before Al Qaeda, like Hamas, they called them like insurgents and stuff like that.
And don't forget about the other distraction, the R. Kelly thing.
Man, but it's so much to get distracted from, like how like nine people inside this cabinet are indicted, and then
why would people get distracted from R. Kelly anyway? We all know
his attorney is set to testify. His attorney is set to testify. Well, his old attorney, and like. Listen, once the feds start probing you, bro, and I'm gonna tell you, man, like they got a 90% conviction rate. So like 90% of the people that they ever went up against, which is huge in court talk. You know what I'm saying? Ain't too many people that ever went up against the feds and just like actually won. So it's like once they start investigating, man, they got all different type of probes, you know what I'm saying, and protocols that they following. They start talking to mothers and great grandmothers and anybody who they feel got the information. And all it takes is that one little slip up from what you said to what this person said. And that pretty much just like open up all the doors. And I feel like he doing a good job of like really like covering like all his tracks and stuff, man. But again, something like this, not to mention like, people actually got pay stubs from these jobs that got shut down. They got pay stubs and they said 0.
Oh really? Oh yeah.
I'm so serious. Oh, yeah, a lot of them government workers, man, still showing up to work or whatever the case may be. Some of them just completely out of a job. Like forget that you messed up Christmas or holidays and stuff like that, man. Like you messing, like these are people's livelihoods. But sadly, some of these people voted for him, and like you can't blame it all on Democrats as he did, because this man clearly said, he said, I fully take responsibility for this government shutdown. You heard him set him up. They was like, say that again. When they had that little meeting, that little argument that they had on national TV, and that was a setup question. And they was like, say that again. They was like, you said what? And he said it. He said, I take full. And I seen it then what they was doing. But I didn't know it was going to come back like this to hit him. And then sure enough, get in front of everybody and go, the Democrats are responsible for the shutdown. No. You just said that you would take full credit for it. And that's this the person that we dealing with who would say Mexico's paying for the wall, but then go right in front of a microphone in front of people and go, I never said Mexico was going to write a check. What? What did you just say? Your whole campaign was who's going to pay for the wall? Mexico. Who's going to pay for the wall? Mexico. And if you look up like one of his most recent speech or whatever, whenever he talks and opens his mouth, and he goes, I never said that Mexico was going to write us a check. You did. You didn't put it in those words. But that's what a lot of your campaign was based on.
Well, I think
he lied so much.
Is when people, no way, like other countries, some do have border walls and stuff like that. But what we have to do in this country is anybody that comes from another country and commits a crime, all they do is get deported, and they go, oh, it's gonna come right back. But if you can make them a prime example, that should deter a lot of way.
Yep.
Yeah, but what I don't get though is all you're building is a wall, like which pretty much going to border Mexico and Texas. But what about the rest of the United States? What about underground of the United States? Like you too stern on this $5 billion wall when there's so many other ways to still get around. Like what about the I told you so when all of them are still getting here and like what if like you're gonna find this loophole? You're like, yeah, they're coming in this way. They're not coming in through the wall. Look at this. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands, and then what do you do then? Well, okay, I'm gonna need about another $3 billion so we could patch that hole. I'm not giving you jack.
Mm-hmm. Only way they could do that is if they build a wall 200 feet underground and then build up.
Who want to do all of that?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And what about what this country was based on? When you look at the Statue of Liberty that says, "Give us your hunger, give us your tired, give us your bro," you know. Yeah, man. Like so many immigrants came into this country with that American dream thing. None of us are official Americans except the Native Americans. Right. That's it. You're never not going to find nobody that's literally
the natives
from here, man.
The natives are from here. That's right.
Yeah, man.
That's why you see all those memories where you have the. It said if you're living if immigration is illegal and the Indian guy on the bottom goes, then why are you here?
But like it's crazy, right? Because like for us to be the United States, all right, like we all got differences, like, but me personally, like we try not to focus on the negatives when you got like Nazis and like all this stuff marching down and Virginia and all of that other stuff, and you know you want to focus on like the things that make this country what it is, because think about it, right? The best things that's in this country are not even from this country. You know what I'm saying? Even the inventions. America gets so much credit, like Benjamin Franklin inventing this and Alexander Graham Bell inventing that. They didn't invent electricity, or you know, like they didn't invent the light bulb. If you actually go over to Egypt and you look at some of the hieroglyphs, their hieroglyphs are actual light bulbs emitting rays. You know what I'm saying? Like America is a patented, like they have patented this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like they will get together with your invention and then patent it, and you know whoever patented it is pretty much theirs. And then on top of that, we all different. You know, you got black, you got white, you got Spanish, man. You got just all different type of races and stuff, and people that the majority of people actually do come together that realize this, that work in ingenuity. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the way it was in the beginning, when all of the continents was pretty much one, and then everybody pretty much, like basically had the same dialect. But that's where we at now with social media everywhere. Like we all on the same accord. Like somebody writes something in Spanish or Chinese that I don't understand, I press auto translate. I know exactly what they talking about now. Right. So like if some type of major global catastrophe happens, we're all witnessing it. Every last one of us, we're watching. Anybody that has a camera, anybody that has a social media in this upload, we're watching it. And I go back like to the biblical days, man. Like Babylon with the Tower of Babel, and they were building up the tower and they're trying to build it all high to talk to God, and like as they're asking for tools and stuff on the way down, they couldn't understand each other anymore.
Well, to me,
which is symbolic to the continents, because once they split up and different tribes were here and there, you can't understand each other anymore.
The modern day Babylon to me is Facebook.
Word. I mean, like I see a lot of modern day Rome. You see a lot of modern day Babylon, and like one thing that we can't do. One thing that we got to do is like you got certain laws and stuff that need to be changed. If everybody could get a fair, even the Constitution, because the Constitution still states that the African American man is only 3/5 a human being. That's going to forever be in there because you can't change it. So with certain laws and justice stuff like being changed, man, and like hopefully like through what Dr. Martin Luther King had inside his vision, like if we get to that, and the laws were for everybody and justice were like actually equal, it'd be a powerful nation. Yeah. And like if not, it's like our main goal is to get along with one another, but we got to get each other to get along with each other first. Whether it's in the Spanish community, whether it's in the white community, whether it's in the black community, because Lord knows we need it inside the black community. You know what I'm saying? Like not being able to get along with each other. Like some people won't even give you the head nod. They won't even say good morning. It's common courtesy. People don't hold the door open no more. You barely hear thank you, you're welcome, or hear gratitude, and like all this other stuff. And
Hey,
I can't really knock that
I speak like
because
that, and
it
I
was
hold doors.
systematically implemented in people. You know what I'm saying? It's like systematically implemented because a lot of these people that got guns and like got these drugs and this is that and the third, they doing the most time for it. They doing the most time and they're getting arrested for all of this stuff. But think about it. We didn't invent the guns. You know what I'm saying? Like no black person was just in their house with a whole lab set and just figured out how to manufacture cocaine or manufacture crack and like all this other stuff. It pretty much come from the ideas of the higher ups. And like by the time it get down to our communities, that's the substance that's used for us to kill one another.
Believe it or not, the one way to stop it from the community is the people to reject it. Because once you reject something, they won't put it in the community anymore.
Look,
So if you-
we can't even
It's
do
not
that.
that-
We
it's not
can't
that easy.
listen. Let me tell you why it's not that easy. We can't even do that with hip hop. When hip hop used to have a message, now it's actually a generation that's called mumble rap, and they take pride in mumbling and a lot of stuff you'll hear about lean and popping mollies and like this is that and the third. Like, when was that the thing to do? Like, you have a whole rapper whose lyrics is Molly Percocet over and over and over, and now you got and it's a trending beat. You don't get me wrong, the beat gets you jumping, dancing in your seat, but it gets spilled down through generation. Now they playing this at a little 10-year-old party, and the little 5-year-olds know all of the words before they could even sing their ABCs. But the stuff with the message, and this is why it's hidden agendas, because just like you said, you know, if the neighborhoods were just rejected, look at hip hop for a prime example. We know what a clear message is, but then we know what's distorted because the hidden agenda is like, nah, this got a message, so put that under there. We're gonna call that underground. That's crazy, because the stuff with the deepest message that could actually bring people together and liberate them out of their current condition, if they all sing to the tune of that beat, it's called underground.
What was it called underground before?
Yes, yeah, it literally was.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, hip hop as a whole was underground because Run DMC and them wasn't mainstream like when they first came out. Like, you got to understand their story. Hip hop pretty much started. Some say
Africa.
Queens, some say the Bronx.
Hip hop was started by African Bambaataa.
But some still hold that title that it either originated from them, but it either originated out of Queens or out of the Bronx. That's why KRS-One and MC Shan had that big battle. That wasn't on Power 99. That wasn't on Hot 97. People heard this word of mouth through tapes. They was passing the tapes out through the trunks of their cars. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then before tapes, it was actually on record. They played the instrumentals. People would do their little
Actually, the hip hop was on house tracks.
facts.
It started
At parties, at house parties and stuff, where the DJ would be like, and 1 and 2, throw your hands in the air. Busy being them.
Well, it started. House tracks were just beats,
Word.
and then people started saying,
Say
saying
ho.
shit. They would
Yeah,
They would start putting these ciphers and these messages into these tracks and creating hip hop from house. These house tracks became hip hop was birthed.
Now,
Using that
as
platform.
a whole, it was underground. But as it went
nightclubs
mainstream.
in New York, some DJs would play records backwards and create different beats.
Word.
So
As it went mainstream, they figured out
Studio 54.
like what to actually throw underground, because at the same time, like when all of this is blowing up, you got Run DMC, you got Curtis Blow, you got LL Cool J, you got all of this stuff now all the kids in the neighborhood see this as an opportunity to escape, to get out, because either that, you had to play basketball, football, you had to sell drugs to make it. Well, here's a whole new thing that's taken off. But what happens is that now, all of a sudden, because you was making money at parties, you was selling your tape, all of a sudden somebody like, I'll give you a deal. And this is where the competition kick in. Because now other industries like that, they just gave them a deal and such and them jamming. Well, we got an industry. Why don't we buy some rappers? Why don't we invest in them, as they say? And now you don't have a hold in your brand or your music or stuff no more, all the way from music, all the way to comedy, all the way to everything. Like when Dave Chappelle came out with the Chappelle Show, that was his show. It was called the Chappelle Show. Mm-hmm. What happened is they start giving him contracts, to sign on for Comedy Central.
No, it wasn't
and then
that.
and then after that, they started writing the scripts and stuff for him where he ain't even have no say so on what he was writing.
Well,
like he
the
was
reason
saying
why-
how he felt uncomfortable saying the word nigga over and over. He was like,
Well,
dang,
one
like,
of
I
the
don't even
main
want to say it that
reasons-
much.
One of the main reasons why Dave Chappelle, what happened to Dave Chappelle is that one day they were writing, a script and they said, hey, here's a script and here's a dress. And they wanted him to put a dress on.
And he didn't bow
And he
down
said,
to it.
no,
He
I'm not
said,
wearing
nah.
a dress. He goes, all these other guys, yes, but not me. Listen, I'm not.
Real
I'm
rap.
not. And he goes, and this is right before they gave him a big raise. And he goes, you know what?
It was
Take
supposed to
your
be
raise-
$50 million.
Take your raise and shove it up your ass. I'm moving to Africa. And that's
Yeah, and walked off his own show, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he refused to, as they say,
So that was one of
sell
the
his
sto-
soul.
That was one of the
Because
one of the stories behind of what happened. But eventually he needed money. He came back.
it seemed like in order
So
to make it,
I
you
don't
gotta
know what
you gotta
he's
sell you gotta sell yourself short. Like you gotta wear a dress or you gotta get killed. Think about it. Martin Lawrence wore a dress. Jamie Foxx wore a dress. You know what I'm saying? And it's like if you don't wear a dress, you gotta get killed in the movie. Like to make it. Denzel Washington killed almost in everything. Training Day, all of that stuff. In order for you to even be considered Oscar worthy or
I think the only
Academy Award worthy or something.
Denzel Washington didn't get killed. I didn't see the movie yet, and I should, but it was a Few Good Men.
Bone Collector.
He got killed in Training Day.
Bone Collector.
Yeah. Like you gotta get killed. Like you gotta cross over. But like you got some who just ain't
Bone
gonna do
Collector.
it. Dave Chappelle wasn't one
You
of
guys
them.
don't listen.
Cat Williams
he
ain't
didn't-
one of
He
them.
didn't die in Bone Collector.
Mm.
Did you guys see that movie? Bone
Yeah,
Collector?
yeah, I seen that. Yeah, he was the
Where
detective.
he was
helping
the-
go on after the dude that was leaving all the clues and stuff.
Well, he was paralyzed.
Word.
And he was telling her, he was helping her with a microphone and,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
know,
from
she
his
was-
hospital bed.
Exactly. So that was one movie he didn't die, but he was still injured. He was paralyzed.
But it's like you
And another one,
got to.
Titans. Remember the Titans? That was a movie he didn't get. He was. It was based on a true story.
Yeah, man.
So
So it's like respect. I gotta. And,
Real
and
quick,
that's,
real quick.
That's how it changes up.
what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on, what we just spoke about? What are your closing
He
thoughts?
did get killed in the Book of Eli.
Yeah.
I didn't see that movie.
That was actually
My closing thoughts on everything that we had talked about is, like whether you're religious or not. I ain't about to get all biblical or whatever the case may be, but every day is a fight for your soul. You know what I'm saying? Somebody want control of your mind, of everything.
And it is up to you.
You
follow
can't
the right path.
fall to society, man. Like, all right, listen, you're going to go through trials, you're going to go through tribulations, you're going through ups, downs, bumps,
Doesn't
and
mean
bruises.
you give up.
But by the end of the day, by the time you lay down and by the time you go to sleep, just ask yourself, did I win today or did I lose? How do you feel with yourself? Because you always going to be a loser inside somebody's eyes, but you also going to be a winner and inspiration inside another person's eyes. There's plenty of people, man, like when I lay my head down at night, they like, yeah, he lost it. He just, I just like the way he blew up over that or the way this is that and the third. You got another half of people that's like, he had such composure. I love the way he handled himself, this, that, and the third. You got to block all of that out because the world is just noise. It's all mess. When we say peace is the absence of all confusion, that don't mean get a noisy room to go quiet to get peace. That's finding peace with inside yourself in a chaotic room. You know what I'm saying? It's like, were you okay with you by the end of the day? And every night that I lay down, I got to consider myself a winner. I could have failed over and over and over in circumstances. I didn't get the raise at my job. I missed the bus doing this and just door shut after door shut after door shut after door shut. But how do you feel with you? I'm still here. Still breathing. I'm all right. I'm all right with me. You know what I mean? Like you all right with your soul, your mind, body, and soul on the same accord. That's
It also
important.
means don't give up and, live life like it's the last day on earth.
Be smart, though. Don't just be like, oh,
Yeah,
you only
don't-
live once, so I'm going to go skydiving. Be smart. Smarten up.
Listen, and if you do go skydiving, make sure you pull the cord.
Take some pictures because that looks kind of cool.
Better you than me because I
Word.
don't know if I could do that.
I'm standing on the ground. Yeah, tell me how it was when you land.
Exactly, right.
Yeah,
Your
man.
shout-outs.
Shout outs, man, to you. Shout out to Ruben, man. Shout out to Hamilton Radio as a whole, man, for this platform, man, to be able to, just talk, vent, get some
I'm
stuff
saying,
out there and
and
have
remember-
people relate back to us, man. You know,
Remember, this is unscripted. You know, we don't have any paper in front of us. We don't have any notes. This is just our thoughts. This is just the I guess 20 plus years of knowing each other.
That's right. So
the chemistry that
So it's like if you feel like something was deep or it got deep or this is that and the third, that's just from the heart. That's from the mind, you know. And like we both know how to improvise with each other, man. Because we like, well, here's my take on it, and this is that and the third.
Well, listen. It's crazy to say that we go back in high school.
Time fly, man.
Time flies.
It fly.
And we were doing crazy shit in high school, and now we're here. Trying to wake up people.
Because we realized you're gonna be older way longer than you ever gonna be younger.
We've been there. We've been in the fights. We've been at fights.
Mm-hmm.
We've drank together. Me and him one night drank. We were drinking some 40s and then walking all over Hamilton.
That's right. But what happened is you get
older.
We got older, bro.
We got older.
We got kids and stuff. He's up painting on days off.
I'm serious. You can see it.
I'm doing comedy shows with my kids in the car.
I got paint on my hands because I came here right before.
I did a comedy show with my kids in the car. This old people style. We getting there. We getting there now. Like you got to pick and choose.
Time flies, and we're just trying to catch up.
Listen, naps are a luxury now. They used to be a punishment when we was little, but now you'll do whatever for peace of mind and a nap.
My shout out to Hamilton Radio for giving us this amazing platform. Without this platform, we'd be just two guys talking some crazy shit on Facebook Live.
Still talking, yeah.
We probably would, but being a part of the station, gives us, more like a family atmosphere. Thank Ruben, Hamilton Radio for allowing me to be a guest on Danielle's show. To interview,
I chimed in. I definitely chimed in.
To interview some of the, some of the personnel from the Dolphins, and former player and personnel. Shout out to my wife, my daughter, my son. Shout out to everybody that's a part of my life. Listen, just keep on trucking, keep on going. Don't give up. Keep that. Keep those good vibes.
Word, man.
Every
day, cause look, we getting older. We are
going.
Ain't no redos on life.
This is our 5th year. In April, this will be our 5th year anniversary.
Still kicking.
Listen, and we're still. Excuse me, I'm tired. Tired already. Tired, and it's not even 11 o'clock.
Look, that's the sacrifice, man. That it takes to make this happen. That's the sacrifice.
It's just, thank you guys. We're definitely blessed to be doing this. Well into, this only. I'll remind you guys, this started as a experiment, and the experiment became into something real, and here we are. We're still here, bringing y'all some crazy ass entertainment on Monday nights.
Guess what? It never gets boring. It never gets played out. It's awesome.
Yeah, I look forward to coming out here.
I don't care how tired I am.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Well, shout out to everybody that's around the world. Shout out to everybody that's on Facebook. Shout out to everybody that's got us locally. We're the Freestyle Freaks. I'm Ralph Rotten. This is Billy the Kid, my right-hand man. Shout out to Billy the Kid doing his thing. Shout out to Ruben doing their thing. Shout out to Hamilton Radio. Peace.
Ralph can't shout out himself, so shout out to Ralph for doing his thing.
Yeah, I don't ever shout out myself.
Word.
You know me. I'm just humble.
We're gonna pass that around and give it back to you.
We're the Freestyle Freaks. I'm Ralph Rotten, and we're out. Peace.